What is going on, you beautiful bunch of savages? Primetime 142, MuayThaiJesus up against what remains of the gaming. An incredible night of fights set ahead of us, as always to be expected here on Primetime MMA, the Saturday night evenings, always bringing us all of the virtual violence needs that we do need. As you can see, this entire card is absolutely stacked. 10 fights of pure killers, top to bottom, and we are not going to waste any time here this evening. We are going to get straight into the first one. I am absolutely ecstatic to say that I am joined in the commentary booth, as you can see, by my friends and yours, the ones and onlys, J-Dime TV and Baron. How are you doing, lads? How's it going?
I'm gonna let Baron go since Baron hasn't been here in a while. Welcome back, Baron.
Oh, thank you, Jay. I appreciate you. No, I'm doing very good. Looking forward to this card. Card is absolutely stacked from top to bottom between MuayThaiJesus and Vuk in the main event, and starting off with this fantastic banger right here, John Africa and Ginger, Jay.
Yeah, and I'm really interested in this fight. I want to see how John Africa approaches this fight because he said he got places to go. He's going to make this quick. So yeah. I want to see what pace this fight starts at, Cyrus.
I'm expecting a quick one, man. He's been fighting real fast recently, you know, in all of his fights, quite honestly, and I know that he's got another fight he needs to try to make sure that he honors in a very, very near future. This man was double boxed here this evening, but he's going up against NV Ginger, or just Ginger these days, I'm not too sure, but either way, this man is a killer. The PlayStation side of it, or PlayStation side of Ginger, has been a bit of a legendary creature in the past. We'll have to see if that comes out here this evening up against John Africa, Baron, or whether or not he's going to fall a little short. We'll have to see. I know he wasn't too warmed up coming into this one. He had a couple of spars leading into this match, but that's about it. He hadn't been on it training for the rest of the day, so sometimes that goes for you, sometimes it goes against you.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes guys work better hot. Sometimes guys work better cold. So we'll see what kind of performance we get out of Ginger. It looks like so far he's been pretty much on the back step for the most part so far, Cyrus. He is keeping his hands going. He's keeping his footwork going. You see the switching stance, making sure that he's not getting too damaged on the leg, on the front leg, but doing his own damage on the legs as well.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that Ginger is normally a guy that fights very, very well until the pressure's a little bit too high. Sometimes he gets in his own mind about these performances, J-Dime, but you know, obviously being a little bit fresher to it here this evening, not overthinking this bout and kind of just turning up a couple of minutes before the card went live, getting 1 or 2 in an OWC, I think that'll actually play in his favor because he didn't have an opportunity to let those nerves settle in, and he's having to find his rhythm in the cage, which often for this guy pans out in his favor.
Yeah, when it comes to Ginger, him losing has never been an ability thing. Sometimes it's not even an IQ thing. It's his confidence. When Ginger's confident, he almost looked like a mythical character. We've seen Ginger upset people who we thought he couldn't beat, but we've also seen Ginger lose to people he has no business losing to, Baron.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, here's the thing about this type of stuff, Jay, is that when it comes to confidence, when it comes to fights, it is a slightly different game when you're talking about guys like John Africa. If he sees that he's not having success, he will take his time. He will make adjustments. You know, he's going to find the path to victory. But Ginger is. He's always a gamer. Like he's not out of it until you get him completely out of it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And if Ginger were to get a win on someone like John Africa, it'd be a big win because John Africa has a really good fight IQ. But when I say that, Ginger stuns him, Cyrus.
Yeah, well, he gets it straight back with the legs and front kicks him in the face. John Africa, an absolute savant when it comes to both the commentary booth and performances in that cage. Whether he's at the side of it or in that cage, he is absolutely all-out entertainment. And you can see here this evening, he got rocked with that uppercut and left hook by Robert Whittaker, a.k.a. Ginger. But my goodness, did he answer back in spades right there. I have to say, you know, he's been... John Africa, for me, from the performances I've seen, Jay, he's been kind of switching between, like, let's use Gaethje as an example. He's kind of fought like old Gaethje and new Gaethje, both in the sense that he's kind of come forward, thrown absolute madness at his opponents, and then in other fights, he's completely dialed in and a lot more technical. I feel like this is a more technical approach from him here this evening. And that will play into his favour, as you can see with the stamina advantage, if he's able to avoid some of the big damage that Ginger's trying to put on that chip.
I feel like as a fighter, you gotta have different gears. So he can go all out Gaethje in one fight, but in another fight, he has to fight more strategic, more calm, like we've seen from Gaethje as of late, Baron.
Yeah, absolutely. And the sign of somebody who really understands, the temperature of a fight is somebody who can switch gears throughout the fight. It's good to be able to set a high pace and keep that pace until you find victory. It's also good to go more of a CV approach and be extremely patient and wait until you make your reads. But if you can also blend the two or blend a mix of everything, this is mixed martial arts after all, Jay.
Yeah, it is, and you got to mix all the arts. And if I'm John Africa, he has to do something to make Ginger respect him. He has to put some damage on, because right now Ginger's trying to walk him down, Cyrus.
Absolutely, and I think he's trying to do that with that big flying knee. Oh my goodness! A front kick missed, slipped and countered by Ginger Ninja. Showing those ninja roots out here as he continues to duck, dive, dodge, and land counters time and time again. He slips, he rips, and this might be it.
Oh yeah, the damage he's done. That's the problem when someone's walking you down like that. You have to land some damage to make him respect you. John Africa has to let his hands go. He has to get a stun, Baron.
Absolutely, and it's funny because I was thinking what we were just talking about, a fighter being able to shift how they're fighting throughout a fight. In the first round, we saw Ginger very much on the back step, probably taking the opportunity to make his reads with John Africa. John Africa making a huge flying knee statement right there with the big rock. But now we're starting to see Ginger in the second round coming out, pressing forward, putting the pressure on, really outside that flying knee, having a lot of success with the pressure right now, Cyrus.
Absolutely, and another straight lands for this man right now. He's going to press against the cage. Izzy isn't exactly known for that firing power, but he lands a left hand and rocks him, Jay. Incredible work, back and forth action. And what a bout to start us off. A PrimeTime 142 here this evening.
Man, this is a great fight. And I was about to say John Africa got to keep his back off the cage. And when I was about to say that, he got off the cage, he stunned him, and he reversed position, Baron.
Yeah. Listen, that was that was getting a little dicey there for both guys. Both guys in the end landed some big shots. So this could end up being really either guy's fight. Obviously, definitely leaning more towards Ginger, more rocks, more damage. But here's the thing about guys like John Africa, and really a lot of guys like that you see at a WR camp. Just like we were explaining right before the show, you can't count guys out of WR. These guys will pull themselves out of the fire. Good recovery there from John Africa, able to stay alive. He does get taken down, but Ginger is able to stay in a sprawl position here, Cyrus. Oh, he gets reversed.
Yeah, at least momentarily. I was actually thinking to myself, Ginger's not bad on the ground, but I honestly thought almost instantly, bad move from Ginger to go for that takedown. It's nice to mix it up, Jay, but we know that John Africa, although he likes to throw those hands, his grappling is severely underrated on this game. He actually decides to separate, though. He obviously feels that he needs a finish here, and he's trying to get that back on the feet.
I know what Ginger was thinking. He probably was thinking that he hurt him. His back's on the cage. Let me take him down. But I was about to say it backfired, but he stuns him again. And John may be done. His head health is toast. It's over, guys. Ginger Ninja with the W.
Woo. I mean, look, we were talking about it off stream moments ago, but styles make fights. And Ginger came out here this evening, and it looks like he had the style to get the job done here this evening. Did it in emphatic fashion, an incredibly, highly entertaining bout. between two OGs of the scene and primetime MMA at that, Baron. But Ginger Ninja now 4-1 on a +2. He was ranked number 18 in this fight, fighting John Africa, who was ranked number 14. That's a big win for him, and he's probably going to breach into those top 15 rankings with that W right there.
Yeah, as he should. You know, Jinja is widely accepted within the community as you know, probably, you know, within all-time top 10. The guy has been at it for so long, and he's been so dangerous. Quite honestly, I mean, I've been out of the scene for a minute, so I'm surprised to see Jinja even that low on the rankings. But I mean, all-time, yeah, I mean, you got to add him in the list somewhere.
He's been around the scene for some time, and he did some great work here this evening up against another, you know, top-level opponent. A fantastic fight. I'll be interested to see where these guys go from there. But with that all being said, J-Dime, we move upwards and onwards to the next fight of this evening. Fluid World stepping into the cage in a lightweight bout up against S2 Viper. Should make a very fun fight in lightweight here.
Okay, so this Fluid camp is new to the scene, right? So I've only seen these Fluid guys fight last week, and their style is grappling heavy. They're very grappling heavy, and the one thing I will criticize about the Fluid guys I've seen last week is a lot of times they give up opportunities on the ground and they sacrifice damage for control, because one of the Fluid guys last week had somebody in stat guard and took the side control instead, Baron.
Yeah, I mean, you know, some guys think of the game differently, you know. So some guys want to do the most damage, you know, to get the job done as quickly as possible. Some guys are kind of in it for the slow burn. So, you know, from what I understand, like you were saying, a lot of these Fluid guys, they're very grappling heavy. I know that that Mozzie is a big influence towards them. So that's probably where they get a lot of their grappling influence from. But yeah, I mean, like, listen, all that matters at the end of the day is that they find success, Cyrus. That, you know, as long as they're taking home the W, what really doesn't matter how they're getting it done.
No, for sure. Look, ultimately it's about winning. But they, you know, obviously, once again, within the fighting spirit of this promotion, I will say that so far, Fluid World going exactly to what we expected. J-Dime securing an early takedown, and I know this is a bit off point, but Viper is the one that we're streaming from at the moment, and this guy fights with zero sound on when he's playing UFC. That is the craziest shit. Like, that's crazy. Doesn't want any distractions, Jay, and I'm telling you, that's that must mean he's dialed in, bro. That's the only thing I can imagine. Listen, when I'm playing UFC, I gotta feel these punches hitting his face.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you're him and someone lands a lead hook, full power, Alex Pereira. You, in your head, you don't think it's doing anything because there's no sound, there's nothing, Baron.
Yeah, it's like it's the reason why as soon as I stop feeling the rumble in my controller, I immediately sprint to the next pair of batteries, because if I stop feeling the impact of my shots, because listen, there is a difference between the impact of a jab that hits you when the opponent's not doing anything, and the impact when they lean into it. You know, it feels differently. So if you can't feel that when you're used to relying on it, it's a different experience. But no difference here for a typical Fluid fight with the with your man's on top here, Jay.
Yeah, so this is a thing when you fight Fluid guys. They have a style that can give anyone trouble. They control the fight. It's up to Viper to stay on the feet. Once you get on the ground at this point, Khabib is going to control him. They have a very Dagestani-like approach to fighting, Baron.
Yeah. I mean, from what I've seen so far, like you said, it's very less focused on damage, more focused on position. Which, quite honestly, I was actually thinking about this earlier. I was driving down the street and I thought, you know, I wonder when we're going to start to see, you know, hopefully maybe EA update the judges, or perhaps maybe one day we'll start to see people who can be so incredibly dominant on the ground that it's not a matter of damage. It becomes a matter of control and control time. So to see that actually come to life, if that truly is the case, maybe if these guys were throwing, maybe a couple strikes or a submission attempt, I'd like to see that. But so far, it's been, very wrestling heavy here, Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, look, one of the main judging criteria is damage, though. So, like, as much control time as they get, if, like, Viper is able to get one or even two big moments in a round on the feet, or just ultimately land more damage, he's still going to win the round, even though he's sitting in, in his guard for the majority of it. And I actually think that's good, to be quite honest with you. We want entertainment, and Herb Dean wants that too. He decided he's seen enough in the full guard out here, Jay. Said, stand back the fuck up. And then I'm going to go back into Viper's world. We'll have to see what he's able to get working. Not only missing that up, El.
Nothing's about to get working right now. And here's the problem when you're facing a fluid guy. It's, of course, damage trumps all. But if Khabib has you on the ground the whole time, there is no damage you could do here. Now it comes down to there's nothing going on the feet. We just know he's on top of you on the ground, Baron.
Yeah. Yeah. Not only that, but I mean, like, you're now working against the clock as well, because the more he's controlling you and the less damage you're doing, those little shots, they're all considered total strikes, so they're all going to add up more than what you're going to be able to do on the bottom. Excellent dodge there on the elbow does allow him to recover half guard. Not really going to allow him to do that much more, Jay. He's going to need to get actually to his feet, which is going to turn out to be way harder than it should be.
Yeah, and Fluid World is doing how I describe what all Jermaine Sterling do and what Marab do, what they're good at, minute winning. That's what I call it. It's minute winning. They're good at this, and it's tough to beat, Cyrus.
No, it is. And, like, honestly, just with what Viper's struggling with at the moment, if I was him, like, if it hits the mat, I'm not trying to transition for the most part. You're just trying to deny. Don't give them any GA, because as soon as you transition and they deny it, you're giving up a position. They're going to advance. So just stale, like, try to make the ground game, if you're Viper, as stale as possible, so they don't build that GA like he did right there. And on the feet, I'll be real with you, Baron. Fuck anything other than defending low. Drop those hands, keep them low, and make sure this guy can't take you down. Throw jabs straight down the barrel. Don't let them get a clinch on you, and make it a lot more difficult for the takedown.
You would think that would end up being the strategy, at least, in the very beginning of the second round. After having experienced the first, you would think that, like, okay, maybe instead of holding high guard, I'm going to hold low guard, and if he hits me with a jab, it's not that big of a deal. At least he won't be able to take me down. But it just seems that, like, not everybody thinks of the obvious, Cyrus.
But Baron, I don't care if he lands a fucking overhand 3 times in a row. Block low, my man. Block low. Not to slip that shit. Don't let this man take you down again. You need to fight that with every ounce of your being. It's better to go, face down on that canvas than it is to be picked up and slammed by Khabib. Like, Viper knows this, but it's a frustrating style to fight against, Jay. It really, really is.
Nice. Nice, yeah. This is what I say. He has to time an uppercut. He has to make him respect him, and he can't go behind them black lines either. And he's behind them lines, and now he's on that cage, Baron.
Yeah. Yep. Pinned up against that cage, especially with a Khabib on you, not exactly where you want to be. Now, here's the thing, Jay, is that he did a relatively good job getting his back up off the cage, landing a lot of knees. But if you look closely, you saw his stamina drain to almost nothing. Had he not gotten off the back of, or had he not gotten off the cage, had Khabib even landed one knee, it would have dropped him. So he's got to be really careful about how he's going to get off of the cage, because really, you may be landing damage and you may be landing those knees, but you're really kind of putting yourself at a disservice here, Jay.
Yeah, I think he's letting him knee him because he's wasting his own stamina right there.
Yes.
And now he's back down inside control where he don't want to be, because he probably needs a finish right now, Cyrus.
He probably does, yeah. Look, I'm not going to, like, hate out here at Fluid World for the most part. has been doing intelligent work on the ground. He's not been staling it out. I'm not a fan of what he's doing on the feet, but I understand it. He's a pure grappler. Like, he's just trying to get it down. But I know, as somebody who has played this game and all previous titles to quite a large extent, when somebody is clinching you and double legging you on rinse and repeat, that shit is painful, man. It is hard to keep your cool in situations like that. And if Viper isn't able to turn this around, or even if he does, I imagine he's going to be going pretty ham in the chats for some time regardless. And I can't blame the guy. I can't blame the guy one fucking bit. I'm not going to lie.
This is kind of what I was also speaking of earlier, is that, like, the damage. Oh, is he gonna escape?
This might be
nope.
it, bro.
No.
It's it.
Yeah, now it is.
Is it?
Look, I rate that. He was hunting. No, what?
It's not over.
He's got nothing left.
Hey, listen, there's a minuscule amount of bar left on there. Like, I can't even see the bar.
What happened? That's wild. Yo.
Okay.
No, it's done. No, it's done. Look, at least he was going for a finish.
How do you guys let this guy play, man? Honestly, this shit
Yeah.
is so depressing.
Sorry,
Yeah.
he's unmuted his mic. Viper is not
Double
impressed.
sob clinching bitch, man. Bro.
Sorry, Viper, my man. I will. I'm sure I will hear the rest of it in the chats. But this guy was not impressed. Let's say that. I know you guys couldn't hear it in the comments booth, but he was not impressed with that performance, to say the absolute least. It's been a while since that's happened. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's kind of cracked me up. Either way, Fluid Will gets a submission and will advance up in those rankings. Needs to find somebody who can stop that shit as he gets closer and closer to moving up those rankings. He will find those opponents in plenty. But with that being said, we move upwards and onwards, as you know is always the case here, J-Dime. Swiftly, we move on to rank number 12, Nasty, going up against K1 Jody, BJJ. Another, what is expected to be highly entertaining bout in bantamweight. A lot of fun picks here between two guys who are known to bring in an entertaining style to this cage.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I got to give Nasty credit. Nasty may not have the prettiest record, but Nasty always puts up a good fight, win or lose, and he has an entertaining style, which will make him valuable whether he win or lose, Baron.
Yeah, I mean, Nasty is like the definition of a company man when it comes to somebody who no matter what, you can always rely on him to put on a good fight. The dude is willing to live and die by the sword, and will go out on his shield on any given night. But with that said, that doesn't discredit him from his actual skills. He's still a very skilled fighter. But also with that said, I don't know too terribly much about Jody BJJ. It's interesting seeing the K1 on his name as well as the BJJ. A kind of an oxymoron here, Cyrus.
Well, it's because this guy can do it absolutely all, Baron. He is, defensively cognizant, and in his attack, my goodness, he is incredibly clean with it. He does like to duck that head, look for slips, sometimes proactively, Jay, and it can get him caught. But it can also lead to some big moments in his favor, just like that.
Yeah, I was about to say, Nasty's good, but I think he's fighting the wrong fight, even though he's having some success. Like, don't take away your attributes by fighting at Pewter Jan's range, Baron.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You say it all the time, Jay, and so do I. I hate it, and I get frustrated when I see guys who rob themselves of using their own tools to find the path of victory. With that said, one of the tools that every fighter has that is not unique to anybody is feinting. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Martial arts is the art of deception. If you can overload your opponent's brain and make them think that you're going low and you end up going high, that works out in your favor. And the feinting system really doesn't. It's not like you're draining a whole lot of stamina. perhaps at this pace, it's hard to do that. But one of them, whoever's not finding success, is going to need to take their foot off the pedal a little bit and maybe back up, reset, and find a different route.
Man, listen to me. They don't care about fainting right now. It's all gas, no brakes right now. They're just in the phone. They're just in the phone booth. Like, there's no point in even having this big cage at this point. No one's moving their feet anyway. They just having an old school brawl, Cyrus.
That they absolutely are, man. They absolutely are. A little bit of moved head, they're moving their head a little bit, or at least Jody was early on, but I think he's kind of almost abandoned that right now, trying to use some of those stutter steps. Oh my goodness, man. Nasty is being nasty out here, bro. He's got a barrage of strikes coming every single which way, trying to keep Jody honest, trying to punish him for moving that head left, right, up, and down.
Jay, you just reminded me of saying that neither one of them were moving their feet. It just reminded me of Yu Yu Hakusho during the Dark tournament when Yusuke and that other dude, they both put a blade behind their foot and they're like, all right, whoever steps back first fucking loses. It's like, dude, imagine that. That's crazy. That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, fuck a phone booth. They both have fucking blades on their heels, and whoever steps back first is the one who gets fucked.
Yeah, you know what else it reminds me of? It reminds me of if you've seen Hajime no Ippo, right? When it's a boxing anime, when he's like a mini Mike Tyson. It's like that type of fight right now, Baron.
Yeah. Yeah, it's madness. I always wonder whenever I watch a fight like this at such a high pace, Cyrus. I wonder if at any point do either of these guys go, this probably isn't sustainable.
I think that's what they're banking on, is that the other guy's not going to be able to sustain it for longer, man. That's what I think. But oh my
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Incredible amount of shots landed. And I have to say, Jody did the smart move. He went to the body first, attacked that stamina, and now he's able to go up top and get maximum effect on all damage he is putting out there. Jody's impressing me here this evening, man. I'm really, really going to be honest with you. I've always rated Nasty incredibly high, and I still do, but Jody is like one of those dark horses that's just come out here, and he's absolutely performing here this evening in a back-and-forth war, Jay. But he's just making smart moves out there to try and edge the fight in his favor.
I'm going to tell you the problem here. I don't have a problem with Jan fighting this way. I have a problem with Corey Sandhagen fighting this way because, nice, and it works. There we go, nice counter. I was about to say, because the way the fight goes is going towards Jan attributes right here. So if Nasty wins, he's going to be beating Jan at his own game instead of making it easier on himself and using his long range tools, Baron. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, Jody's doing a excellent job with his footwork. Like he's able to get in and out. Most strikes, he's doing very good defensively. Most strikes of Nasty's is either whiffing or being put on the block, but very good shots there from Nasty. Here's the thing, Cyrus. Nasty is a very good fighter, but that doesn't keep him from getting struck himself. However, he has massive strikes that puts his mans down.
As I said earlier, the dodging can often lead to some big moments for Jody, but when he gets it wrong, when Nasty's able to time that duck and land an uppercut, or go around, land a hook as he slips, the damage is just so huge. Oh! Jody!
Nice. Back.
Living up to the K1 in his name, J-Dime. Stutter steps backward, lands that straight, looking to put the finishing touches. We'll have to see if he's able to get the job done.
Yeah, and I'm scared. I'm scared for both of them, to be real, but I'm more scared of Corey because, this is Jan's type of fight, like I keep saying, Baron.
Yeah. I mean, Nasty's really not doing himself any favors by allowing Jan to get on the inside. Oh, nice hook there. Definitely needs to stay on the outside. But I would really like to see him slow it down. Nasty he's just
double knockdown. Oh my! Hey, this is a great fight. It is.
Yo. Mad.
Oh, it's over! Oh, Eddie! Oh my goodness!
Oh, my God, man! What a fight! These guys gunning for that fight of the night position right there, and right now they're my early contender for it. We've had 2 incredibly fun fights, one slow one, but 2 incredibly fun fights so far here this evening. But this one tops it right there, especially Jay, double knockdown, double motherfucking knockdown.
Insane. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, that was crazy, and that double knockdown just described how this fight was going the whole time. Like that's crazy. It's gonna be hard to live up to this fight. This is fight of the night, and it's tough to beat this.
That is, yeah.
I tell you one thing, the primetime guarantee never fails to deliver, and these 2 guys right there are the absolute epitome of what it means to be a primetime fighter. And put it all on the line. You said it earlier, Baron. You know, especially Nasty. Not what everybody knew about him. He's a guy that lives or dies by that sword, and he was willing to kill or be killed in there here this evening. Jody obviously matched that energy, and it led to one hell of an entertaining bout for all of us to do here.
I can't think of anything better. I mean, there's nothing like it. You know, you don't even hear.
You know what? I almost need a moment to compose myself. We're not going to take a moment, but I almost need that moment to compose myself. We're going to get straight on to the featured fight of the prelims, where there is a tall order to live up to all the action that we just saw. But if there are 2 fighters that are able to do it, it is Marcus and Storm. These guys are both in the top 15. We have what's going on there? That's the wrong one. Okay. Yeah, we have Marcus, who is ranked number 9, and Storm, who is ranked number 13. Are you changing the link on me? You are changing the link. Okay. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Doc. We're going to get straight into this one, if he is ready, which he is. It is in flyweight. I believe our first flyweight fight in a little while. And it looks like, Jay, we are going to be getting Alexandra Pantoja up against Davidson Figueiredo. Should be a very, very entertaining bout. I mean, these guys... Oh, no, he's switching it up on me. He's going Manel.
He's going Manel. Oh, man, I'm really looking forward to this fight, too. Not just this matchup when it comes to the fighters, it's these 2 people, because Storm's always been really good, but Marcus has almost been the underdog in every fight he's in, and he's found a way in a lot of those fights to win through adversity, kind of how Drickus does. He finds a way, Baron.
Man, you love the Drickus story, don't you, Jay?
You know, I really don't like. I'm really hurt about that Drickus win right now, but I gotta give him credit. It ain't the prettiest looking thing, but it's effective.
Look, just to jump in, it may not make sense all of the time, and when you watch this guy fight, but up DDP, that man is the champ, brother. He is the champ.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another fun fighter, though, is Cap. He is... Manel's a very, very entertaining character, I'm not going to lie. I like watching his presses, and I like watching the guy fight. He is wild, both in and out of that cage. And it leads to non-stop entertainment every single time. Of course, Figueiredo. Very explosive, Baron. Very, very explosive. Just an all-round submission and knockout threat. But I feel like that's going to be matched in spades here this evening up against STK Matador with Manel at the fingertips.
Yeah. Listen, I agree with the Manel pick. Yeah, he's a fun pick. I unfortunately don't know too much about him in real life. I don't really watch a whole lot of mixed martial arts anymore. Figueiredo, though, obviously, strong pick, powerful hands, strong jiu-jitsu. The pace of this fight, obviously much slower than the last, but still, gearing up to be an exciting fight. Both guys are looking for their jabs, looking for timing and distance. So taking this first round with caution, but both guys are still looking to land some good damage here, Jay.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you go against Manel Cap, his grappling isn't the best on him. He don't have the best grappling, right? That's why I said you should try to mix it up against him, but his striking is impeccable. He got a 99 switch stance. He can kick, he can punch. He can do basically everything you need on the feet if you're kickboxing or boxing, Cyrus.
Absolutely, and people sleep on the switch stance. I mean, I know it's not always the massive or the most impactful thing on UFC, but IRL and in terms of just what options it presents in a fight, because it changes the angles and changes the techniques that are available to you depending on your opponent's opposing stance. If STK Matador is able to come out here and utilize that correctly, he will be able to open up some big damage, especially if he switches and starts, chambering up some kicks to that body, starts tenderizing it a little bit, because these flyweights, Baron, they have cardio for days, so you have to attack that body so that the rest will eventually fall.
Yeah, I agree. Never mind. I was gonna say something really out of pocket, but I'm gonna hold on to that. Listen, you have to invest in work to the body if you want to drain their stamina, especially like you said it, Cyrus, at the flyweight division where their cardio is just, it goes for days. With that being said, they do only have 3 rounds, so they do have a limited amount of time that they can make something work. Marcus has done a good job staying on the back foot and landing damage, while keeping Matador at bay enough to really not land too much more other than the occasional body kick on the exit, or a couple jabs in the face. But outside of that, I'd say Marcus is doing a good job going into this second round, controlling this fight so far. So it's Matador who's really going to be the one who's going to need to make some adjustments here, Cyrus.
Yeah, for sure. I actually think that, weirdly enough, Matador is more being the bull here this evening, and Marcus is being the Matador. Been fighting on the front foot quite a lot, trying to force the damage. He has been attacking the body with the lead hook. It may get him caught, as I've seen Marcus chamber a couple of uppercuts to try and counter him. But those uppercuts are starting to be thrown to the body instead, which, as you know, Jay, often track to the head. So a really good choice for Marcus to really try to effectively counter the pressure that Matador's trying to put on him.
Yeah, I feel like body shots are so underrated in fighting, because if you hit him to the body enough, the head will fall, because one of those body uppercuts going to turn into a head uppercut, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fantastic thing about uppercuts in this game, Jay, is that if you're throwing an uppercut to the body and they lean down, it's still gonna hit them in the head, even if your intention is to the body, which even if that's the case, it's still going to end up being tremendous in your favor, either, eating the shit out of their block, or it being an instant rock for you when you were just expecting nothing more than just a little damage to the body, Jay.
Oh, yeah, you're right. And oh my goodness, I was about to say one thing. I was going to give Manel Cap a compliment. He's landed that rear head kick a lot, but with that, once I was about to say that, he got put down, Cyrus.
Yeah, no, it was he got stunned in a big way, man. I mean, I think both guys are doing some really intelligent work. They're really trying to problem solve in real time. You can see that these guys are not fighting on autopilot. They are dialed in, looking for their openings. Marcus has been able to get slightly the better of this equation so far. But my goodness, I'm not counting Manel out, bro, especially in the hands of STK Matador. This guy, he is trying to find that kill shot with every single strike. People used to say Mike Tyson throws every single shot with bad intentions, and Manel is doing the same right here, right now. He is looking for that home run as the seconds tick by. It's only a matter of time before one of them finds it, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. What I'd like to see, Cyrus, is, we keep seeing Marcus doing a good job at both the head movement and also with the body shots. Both of what I just said is implying that Marcus is dipping his head, which would give Matador a tremendous opportunity to land one of Manel's 5-star flying knees, which could really shift the momentum in this fight. Because, like I said at the beginning of this round, this so far has relatively been within Marcus's grasp, this fight. Matador has put up a good fight, but you would have to argue that it's teetering in Marcus's favor.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that assessment for sure. I will say the only thing that, and this is like, if I was to kind of like throw one bit of shade here, one little bit of negative, Manel is occasionally taking pictures in the pocket. And I just feel like Marcus is winning this fight by being a little bit more active in some lateral retreats and kind of popping him on the counter. Oh, I see that. And he lands one of those bad intentions shots, Jay. And now he's trying to chase him down.
Oh my goodness. I'm not going to lie. I thought Manel Cap had his moment, and then Marcus responds again. Now it's up to Manel Cap, who I don't know if he needs a knockout, because round 1 we give to Marcus, but it's a close round where the judges could see it the other way. Round 2 is clearly Marcus. Now right here, someone has to make a statement here, and it's Marcus making a statement, Cyrus.
Yeah, absolutely. He may be getting the home run unless Manel can duck and counter like he's trying, bro. Two beautiful ducks didn't get the counter, but there's 3 minutes 35 in the third and final round of this absolutely incredible fight at the featured point of our prelims. And Marcus is going to work, Baron.
Oh my God, and he drops him. This is it. That's over. Marcus takes it. What an unbelievable fight from start to finish. Marcus was on top of him. He was making his reads early, and the pressure really never let up. Unfortunately for Matador, he was not able to keep up with the strikes of Marcus. I unfortunately did see that a large part of that fight was, I mean, you could really boil it down to just block breaking from both of them. But either way, entertaining fight. You know, Matador was landing those insane head kicks, which I thought was gonna take Marcus's head clean off at any moment. But Marcus did a good job of keeping composure and winning the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm going to get confirmation, if I can get confirmation now, lads. Is this easy? Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. So, no, that's fine. So yeah, from what I'm seeing, Dex Primacy, who is hot off a suspension, was able to fight here this evening, was going to be fighting here this evening, and, I mean, I don't know if the gods have spared him, or if they have, robbed him of an opportunity to come back in a big way. But this guy right here has shown us that unfortunately his network supplier is having outages at the moment, and he is without internet, running off mobile only, which sucks fucking ass, bro. They need to fix that shit. On primetime, Saturday, 8:30 GMT, they're gonna go, now's when we're gonna have issues.
Don't they fucking know?
Bro, they need to know. I expect a full refund for your month subscription, but I have to say that Easy Work, GG, stepped in on short notice to fight Ali 10, and he is trying to answer that call in a big way. Two guys that have been around the scene for a long time now, J-Dime, putting on fantastic performances over the years they've been with us, and we expect this one to live up to that and some, especially on that short notice as we walk into featherweight here this evening. These two guys can do it all, but they often find a way to get the job done on the feet, which is why they've been such fan-friendly favorites over the time they've been with us. This is Dex?
This is Dex. Yeah. Yeah.
Is this going to drop out? This better not drop out. So what? This is Dex. Fair enough. This is Dex. I take it all back.
Dex is here. We're talking about internet and this, internet, that. Yeah. Apologize to his network provider too, Cyrus.
No. Fuck his network supplier and the outages they're having. If it stays here for the entire fight, do you know what? I might give them like a little nod. I'll just give them a little nod of respect. But outside of that, they can fuck themselves for having this problem at this time of night on a Saturday. Either way, we get the fight that we were initially promised. Sorry about the miscommunication there, but I'm running at 1,000,000 miles an hour, especially with the guys in the back giving me a lot of different angles, different looks. But everybody's working hard. And now it's down to the fighters to work even harder to bring that virtual violence to life for us, Jake.
Yeah, and I just got to compliment Prime Jose Aldo shorts, because those shorts are hard, Baron.
Yo, hey, listen, I was just gonna say, to the other end of the spectrum, how fucking atrocious are Volkanovski's?
Yeah, that's bad.
Come on. Talking about the oh my god. What a head kick right there. Kicked him out of mid-air. Jose Aldo managed to recover very quickly, but that should have put him face down on the canvas. I don't give a single shit.
Look at the stamina difference already, guys. It's barely even 2 minutes into the first round, and Jose, I mean, both of them are really lacking already a tremendous amount of stamina, and it doesn't feel like this fight has been a particularly large, or excuse me, extreme pace. Although Volkanovski really is just laying paws on your mans right now, Jay.
Yeah, and if I was Volkanovski, my game plan would be to drain the stamina of Jose Aldo, but their stamina is about equal right now, so that game plan is out the window right now, Cyrus.
Oh, absolutely. And I have to say, if Jose Aldo went for a flying knee and got punched out of the startup animation, if I had jumped into the air within the opening 30 seconds of the fight and got head kicked into oblivion, I would possibly reconsider going airborne again. But either way, these guys continue. We're 1 minute 50 on the clock, Baron, and he goes airborne again. Huh? Like, this guy does not give a fuck. Ali's out here for a good time, not a long time, bro.
Yeah, it's you know, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So you know, some guys will just learn it the hard way. You know, listen, here's the thing. I thoroughly enjoy using Jose Aldo as a pick personally whenever I'm playing, specifically speaking of this alter ego, Jay. So
Oh my.
and there's Exhibit A. Why? That's exactly why. Look at that tremendous uppercut that just dropped Volkanovski.
Yeah, and now this is bad for Volkanovski because Jose Aldo put him down now. Now he has the damage advantage, and I was about to say, now that he's damaged him, now Ali's starting to go forward more, because if you notice, he was sitting his back on the cage most of this fight, but now that he's hurt him, he's back on the cage now, but he started going forward more, Baron.
Yeah, which it's kind of what you want, you know. I mean, both players here have picked fighters who are known for being aggressive fighters, who are known for not taking a step back, right? So one of you is going to have to do that. One of you needs to establish which one of you that's going to be. And typically, once that's established, that doesn't often change unless it's like with a crazy shot, like with what we've seen, you know, with Ali ADP's uppercut. I would like to see him perhaps use maybe some more length for his shots. You know, Jose is known not just for his punches, but for his kicks as well, Cyrus. So if he can get some teeps going, perhaps the front teep into a switch kick, fantastic shots for Ali. Maybe the strategy is not to keep running after him and just let him get rocked, let him get dropped, let him get back to his feet.
Oh, talking about
Did he
rocks.
throw
Double
that
rocks.
in? Oh, he's...
This might be it.
Listen.
No. He'll survive. He's all right.
Good block.
Yeah, but he sold the bag when he threw that
He did.
kick right there, because if you circle to his rear side or you sidestep it, that's a free counter. That's almost a free drop right there. And now the momentum of the fight has shifted drastically, Baron.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing, is that, you know, a lot of people are not only aware of Volkanovski's striking, right, but they also consider him like a relatively well-versed grappler. What a lot of people will forget is that Jose Aldo has insane jiu-jitsu as well. So this submission might actually be able to get through.
Yeah, he used
But he's able to switch position.
That was really smart. He drained his stamina so that all Volk was thinking was, I need to deny up as a hit, so I need to transition at the last second. And then he flipped him and said, nope. Now he's in top mount, got stamina advantage. Ali's low-key fighting real smart here this evening. I'm not a big fan of the aerial attacks that he's doing. I don't know what he's been playing to just decide that he wants to go airborne every 2 seconds. But outside of that, he's fighting with some power, Jay. Like, everything he's doing seems to really have that kind of killer instinct behind it. He's using the jumping, the kind of Superman jab to cover the distance. He's using a lot of really well-timed and educated lead uppercuts into combinations that he's throwing behind it. And he's variating that, meaning that when it's on the feet, he's making it difficult for Volkanovski to get the right head movement timed out. And on the mat, he slowed it down. It's like he's gone into, he switched it and just instantly went into that kind of cerebral, grappling artist that you need to be anytime it hits the mat.
Yeah, he's fighting well through adversity. It's like if a basketball team gets hot, you call a timeout.
Yeah.
That's basically what did. He switched the pace of this fight after he got hurt, Baron.
Yeah. Listen. Ollie is a he is a high IQ fighter. And he's willing to take the fight anywhere. If he feels like he's going to find success there. So with that said, you know, I think it was a good decision despite ending the round being on bottom. He still had a lot of success on the ground. Like I said, I'd still like to see maybe some longer strikes from him. Like I said, the lead teep into the switch body kick, always a good one. You know, again, feinting can go a long way. So, you know, if he can get back with a couple strikes that will lead to either a rock or a knockdown, you know, he just needs to take his time. Every time he knocks his opponent down, Jay, he gets excited.
Man, that's good takedown defense. Like, to have the awareness after you got stunned, to just deny that, that's great takedown defense. And now, this could be good for him, but if I'm him, I have to do something with this because I'm the one who just got hurt. Me sitting here and sprawl is not enough, Cyrus.
No, exactly right. And we didn't have to see that for too long as they get back to the feet. Very equal in terms of stamina. Fairly equal in terms of head health as well. I mean, these guys are absolutely down to the wire right now. And I mean, I think both guys might need a finish, to be quite honest. I don't know which way this is going. It's all on this third round for me. Yeah, it's got to be all on this third round. Got to be.
Both guys have suffered huge damage throughout this fight, so it's totally within the realm of reasonable logic to question who's going to win this fight. Huge drop though for Volkanovski. He's about to finish this fight here though. Oh shit!
Man, he was one strike away from getting put out right there. Oh, he gets up now. Now what will he do with this? All does get off the cage though, because like you just got damaged. That's the worst place to be. Every time I see that, I get PTSD of when Volk was on the cage and Elio was punching him, Cyrus.
Yeah. Oh, the flying knee attempt right there. Ali once again deciding to go aerial, but his head health is in the blinking range eternally. And I feel like if Dex is able to like load up right now, he may find a big rock, and he does. Beautiful, beautiful work. Calm,
this is it.
Oh.
Wow, excellent recovery there from Ali. When the fight looked like it was being absolutely snatched from him, he's able to survive. He's not able to recover his guard here though, Jay. He's having a hard time with that. There he goes. He's able to get it now. He's able to get to his feet. And if he does, what does he need to do differently in this last minute to get this win?
This fight has to get back to the feet because it's looking horrible right now.
Oof. No, I neither know nothing about this or played that game very much, but in NHL, there was only one play I know, and that is the Hail Mary. And that's what he needs right now. He needs a Hail Mary. He needs to go balls to the wall and try to find a finish. Not going to really happen, though. 20 seconds, and they're back on the mat. I think my granny's kid, a.k.a. Dex, may get the job done after a big third round.
I don't know. I'm not a judge. I just know this was a great fight. That's all I know.
You ain't wrong, my man. You ain't wrong. We'll have to see which way this goes. It's all in that first round. I thought Volk won the first round, but maybe I'm just remembering the big head kick where he, like, you know, torpedoed that foot into an aerial Aldo and managed to clip him within the first 30 seconds. Maybe that skewed my opinion on it, but as you said, Jay, the judges are not ourselves. We just call these fights and enjoy ourselves along the way. We now go to the judges' scorecards, read by Bruce Buffer. 29-28 across the board. It is Alexander the Great Volkanovski, aka Dex Primacy. Still fuck your internet supplier, but credit to you, brother. No, credit to him. for getting through that, getting it all working.
It held up.
It did.
You can at least give them credit.
Look, I appreciate it. I'll be honest with you. Like, obviously, I've got like a bunch of different things going right now, but I saw him in our Discord going, "Oh, my internet's out," showing a screenshot of his network supplier, and because he had just come off suspension, I ain't gonna lie to you, I just responded with, "I'm gonna go fucking nuclear," because I was gonna go nuclear, bro. There's like, but it wasn't in his control, in all fairness, and he was able to make the fight. So either way, congratulations. I appreciate it. Made for one hell of a fun fight, and I'm glad that we didn't miss that off tonight's card. It's been a very, very fun one so far. Great to be back in the commentary booth, and great to see all of these guys go out there and absolutely display virtual violence at its finest. And I will say to you, Baron, that I expect these next two opponents to do exactly that. It is the one and only Naz, the streaming sensation, possibly the biggest content creator in the space right now, who has been doing work in primetime MMA for years, multiple time champion, both on the PlayStation and on the Xbox division. Not currently in that position after, I believe, he lost his last one out up against What Remains of Buck, which is why Buck finds himself in the main event when they were in that title eliminator, J-Dime. But I'm going to throw this one to you, my man, because he's going up against What Remains of Strictly Business, aka Oranges. This man is in here to do work, and this is the biggest fight of his career so far. This is the biggest name, the biggest threat that he has, and the biggest opportunity that he has to get himself towards that belt.
This is what I'll say. Nas should be the favorite, but if Oranges were to get it done, Oranges may have had the toughest road I've ever seen to a title, because we watched him get put through a table by CV. Now he got to fight Nas. We didn't see him have to go through everything, Baron, just to make it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, forgive me. I was not around for the Oranges storyline. But you know, everybody knows of Nas and what he's capable of. So really, unless it's somebody like Fatinator or CV or Driz, the story will almost always be, what does the other person have to do to beat Nas? Not what does Nas have to do to beat this person. We already know what Nas has to do. Nas just has to be Nas. It's very simple.
He has a signature style, that's the thing. And he has a bit of a signature Izzy as well in the way that he fights. He is Izzy, right? I'm not tripping balls. Yeah, he is Izzy.
He's Izzy.
I'm not surprised. Like I said, his fighting style and the way that he uses particular fighters, very, very signature. Actually, he kind of like revolutionized the way that a lot of people fight. I go onto OWC and I see a lot of little Nas clones out there trying to do what he does and not maybe doing it to the full effect that he does. But yeah, look, this is a big opportunity for Oranges. I've seen that man fight over on Roger's stream through Ghetto League, and I'm telling you that this guy, he has some hands out there, bro. He's not like he's no chump. He ain't no donk out here, J-Dime. And he's like, you know, he's here for a W. He has his name, his Discord name suggests. He is absolutely strictly business, bro. He's strictly business.
Yeah. And what I will say, when you say Nas has a signature style, I will say on 5 his style changed. It's a lot more patient. It's a lot less slip to the body. Like, it has changed, Cyrus.
No, you're right. And once again, Nas is a smart guy. Like, he fights to the fighter that he's picking. He's not going to come out there and box purely with Izzy when he's like a world-class kickboxer. He's going to utilize all of the tools at his disposal. And I wouldn't expect anything less. But I think that, like Baron said earlier, this is really about what Strictly is going to bring to the table. What sort of threats is he going to present Nas to try and take him out of his A-game? Because if he lets this fight just purely take place at range, lets Nas dictate the pace,
Nice!
Oh!
then it might be an early night, but that's one way to do it, Baron. He lands big.
And this is almost a callback to Nas's last fight, who, funny enough, was also, you know, like you said, against Vuk. But you know, let's remind people that Vuk was also from WR, much like this fighter here tonight, that Nas is going against. So you know, maybe, just maybe, perhaps the Nas formula has been figured out. Maybe after so long, Team Alpha Male has finally figured out the Dominic Cruz formula.
I love the reference, my man. I will say strictly business, living up to that name.
Here's the thing with Oranges. Oranges has always been really good. Like, you only notice if you watch some of these streams, but like, it's when the bright lights come on, he used to tend to fold because he's new to this.
Roger.
But skill wise, Oranges is very good though.
No, I don't disagree, man. I've seen this guy really do some work. Like I said, around the scene, he's active in the community. Like I said, in kind of fighting over with Roger and the Island Ghetto League, and just kind of competing in the chats. I didn't have an opportunity to fight him myself yet, but I've been very impressed with what I've seen, and I'm no joke, man. Like, he is fighting the perfect fight so far here this evening. He might be taking a little bit too much on the exchanges in the in the pocket, but he's Alex, and as a result, not only is he slightly outlanding his opponent in these exchanges, but he's able to get the big knocks with that power advantage also. He's forcing Nats, he's forcing Israel Adesanya to fight Alex's type of fight. And ultimately, he's got himself so ahead after that first round, he's just got to not absolutely sell this fight. Try to allow Naz not to get back into this bout. And he could be going for one of the biggest upsets of the evening.
Absolutely, Cyrus. You know, perhaps it's PTSD as a fan from when I saw Fatinator and Nas fight with these exact picks, right? With the Alex and Izzy pick, and you know, like you said, Nas has been heavily focused on his Izzy. He's very good at using Izzy. But right now, much like you also said, Orange he's fighting the perfect fight. He's doing really everything that he needs to find victory. He's putting Nas on the back foot, putting him behind those black lines. So this is what most would consider a good position for Oranges, Jay. But here's the thing, is that he can't get too overconfident, because much like we saw with Nas and his overconfidence, it can cost you one mistake and it can literally mean the entire fight.
The thing is, Oranges has done so much damage to Nas' head health that Izzy almost has to push forward. So if you're Oranges, you have to limit the counters there, because that's what Nas is looking for. He just got to keep working, attack those legs, Cyrus.
I don't disagree. I actually, if I'm being real with you, I will never count out Naz. I've seen this guy come back from much worse positions and win bouts. And I will say that right now, over the last 3 minutes of this round, he has landed 4 pull counters to the body that have been absolutely monumental in starting to change the momentum of the bout. Now, it hasn't done it yet because of the damage that's accrued on his head health, but it puts him in a position where that is now within an attainable grasp for him. Unless he misses big head kicks like that, which may give me very high blood pressure if he continues to do stuff like that, Baron. But no, like, he is an absolute gamer at its finest. And, you know, he's going to try to find any way he can to get back into this bout. It's, for me, it just does strictly sell. And it doesn't look like he's going to sell anytime soon.
Oh, big shots there from Strictly Rocks Nas. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Osiris. Nas's fights, Nas's wins typically aren't the prettiest. He will get usually fucked up a little bit like this. And it gets and
it's over. It's strictly business. Oranges with the upset.
Handing out those oranges like nobody's business. Left and right. Oranges for everybody. He does it, bro. All about that strictly business. Upset of the night. Biggest underdog, I would imagine, coming into tonight, especially if people didn't know who Oranges was. But he did it. He did it with class. And look, you can't be mad, bro. You can't be mad. That's a fucking phenomenal performance from Strictly Business. And for my money, he's punched himself an opportunity at a massive fight next. I don't know what's next for this man, but he just literally came out here and beat the first double champion that we ever had, multiple time champion, one of the guys that's been running hot recently, and puts himself on a 3-fight winning streak. That's fucking phenomenal, Jay.
Listen, and here's the thing. It was from start to finish. This wasn't I flash KO'd him. No, he put on a performance. And what I say before this fight, he may have the hardest road I've ever seen to a title because he took that loss to CV. He beat Nas, but it's high risk, high reward because he's fighting these guys who are supposed to beat him, right? And he put on a show, and he may have punched his ticket.
Yeah, he may have had a difficult time on the way to the top, but he made that fight look pretty easy, Jay. An excellent performance there from Oranges, and you know, let me say again, it looks like Team Alpha Male has figured out the code. I don't know if Dominic Cruz is ever gonna have luck against WR ever again.
Do you know what? I would agree with that sentiment, but he did not do it the same way Vuck did it. Strictly did it a completely different way.
Oh,
like,
it was a systematical breakdown. I mean,
like honestly, I'm kind of I'm not lost for words, but I'm almost there. You know what I mean? Like that was a surprise. Not just that he got the win, but he did it so emphatically. He got an early lead and Strictly got the confidence he needed from that to realize that he is of that level. He might just be that guy. And he did not sell. We've seen so many people sell over the years, man. Fight after fight where people get an early lead and they just let that shit go, especially up against top level opponents like Naz. But no joke, no wasted time, zero wrong steps taken, absolutely bouncing back from any little bit of adversity that came his way. I'm all on that Strictly Business hype train, and I cannot wait to see what he does next. With that being said though, look, we're not about wasting your time or ours here this evening. We've had a crazy night of fights. The virtual violence is at an absolute peak, and we expect that to continue for the rest of the card. J Dime, you know, brother, it is time for AKA CV stepping in that cage up against a fellow teammate in AKA Maroof.
I got a lot to say about this. Okay, so listen to me. They are teammates. We know how good CV is. We know Maroof, right? I low-key wish Roger was here to hate on Maroof because he would want to see this more than anything. Because listen, if Maroof got
usually hate on how does he hate on
he's the leader.
Roger?
He's the leader of Maroof's hate club. Because Maroof wins 90% of matches to sell a lot of times. So yeah, he hates on Maroof, right? But yeah, so if Maroof wins this match, I know he's gonna be upset.
You fired Roger because of block breaking hate? No, that man's out traveling the world right now, my man. He's out there living his best life. We will see Roger back in the booth, I am sure, to continue his Maroof hate and anybody else that he desires to kind of call out. But for right now, we are going to continue into this one. Leon Edwards in the side of Maroof, and Darren Till stepping across from him with CV. Having one of his best interviews to date recently with MMA Guru. Loved that shit. If you haven't seen it, absolutely hilarious. But in this fight, I think that this is a really good pick for CV. I'll throw it back to you, Jay. You know as well as I do, CV being around for so long. He's not just a seasoned striker, but he is one of the most technical opponents that you will fight against. And a technical Darren Till is a dangerous Darren Till.
Yeah, and no one knows Maroof better than his teammate. And I know Maroof a lot from watching Maroof. Maroof likes throwing a body kick off his back leg. If you can make him whiff that, there's a lot you can do there, Baron.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, just like you said, teammates are gonna know each other very well.
There we go. That's the kick right there.
And CV, you know, every once in a while you get these guys who are just a little extra step above everyone else, and eventually the game catches up, and then you see somebody else step up, or those guys who are above, you know, they increase their gap ahead of the curve. But you know, CV is one of those guys that he is just an absolute veteran of the game. He has fought everyone under the sun and probably beaten everyone under the sun. An extremely respected fighter. Excellent pick with the Darren Till. Honestly, Jay, is that the new Darren Till?
Yep, that's the alter ego Darren Till.
Okay.
This is prime Darren Till. This is Darren Till when he had all the hype when he was walking out to Sweet Caroline. That's that Darren Till.
Yeah, so I mean, with a guy like CV having the tools of alter ego Darren Till at hand, it's only a matter of time. Again, just like the Nas fight, it's not a matter of what CV can do, it's a matter of what his opponent is going to do against CV. With that said, CV, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, but it seems like CV has kind of been coming out the gate a little quicker than he does most first rounds.
Yeah, because this is the way I look at it. He's not champ no more, and now he has to fight more 3-round fights. You have to start faster in a 3-round fight. You don't have the luxury of just chilling for the first 2 rounds and then making your reads. Oh, and me roof with the stun.
Absolutely. Look, you're not wrong. 3-round fights mean that CV has to get a little bit busier and take a little bit more risks. I will say that everybody obviously would expect CV to maybe be the favorite coming into this one, but I know, like many of the AKA boys do, that Maroof lives by a code, and that code is that if they can bleed, he can beat them. And CV, he may not be the most easy guy to beat, but he is human, and that guy can bleed, and therefore Maroof can win that fight, and he knows that. He went and landed a absolutely impeccable head kick a moment ago. He's all about that timing. He doesn't seem to be, kind of wasting the moment that he has ahead of him. He understands the threat the CV brings to the table, and has had to be respectful of that, but he isn't throwing the fight away. He isn't second guessing himself, and I believe that Maroof still has the ability to come back into this fight. But as Baron said, it is about what adjustments he can make and what tools he is able to show CV here this evening to take him away from his A game, because we are all human, and anybody can be beat.
Cyrus, I've been preaching it all night, but for the first time, I think that at least that I've noticed, we're starting to see in CV and a little bit in Maroof, maybe it's an AKA thing, feints. We're starting to see feints being utilized.
There it is. That's it. Get the shit done.
Oh,
Absolutely mental, and this is the end.
It's over.
There it is.
Knockout of the night, bar none. Fucking punch your ticket right now. CV, as silky smooth as it gets the job done with one of the most highlight reel knockouts that you will ever see. I mean, that shit's getting added to our intro at some point in the near future.
Nah, that was nasty because he ducked his spinning wheel kick and then countered it with his own. And,
yeah, that was once again some fucking Bruce Lee shit.
Yeah.
Finish him! That was crazy, bro.
Madness.
That was crazy. Like I said, a technical Darren Till is a dangerous Darren Till, and it doesn't get more technical than CV representing those AKA boys once again. Look, AKA couldn't lose here this evening in this bout. One of them was walking away with that W, and it just so happens to be CV. That man continues to bounce himself up in the rankings, now on a +2 fight win streak, and he is 9-2 in the division. He's only ever lost twice in this season, which is an impeccable record to have at such a late point in this season of UFC 5. Wow, it's been a fun old ride so far, and J-Time, it is about time that we move on to our co-main event of this evening. It is the champion of the Xbox division, EK Warrior. He won the fight for a vacant belt last time out. He is now going to have to defend J-Dime against what many would herald, including myself, as the pound-for-pound GOAT of this game. Bar none, FSK Fadinator, coming back in a big way here this evening. He took a little bit of a time away after he lost his belt, but since he's come back, he has looked like, I was going to say a different man, but he's looked like the same old man. That guy that comes out here and looks to not only take people's consciousness away from them, but he's looking to take souls here this evening as well. But you know the way it is. When you have that C next to your name, when you are the champion, it brings a different level of confidence. And I want to see if EK Warrior comes out here and fights like the champion he has become, or will he fail to rise to the occasion of the name of FSK Fatney.
Man, so I think it was Teddy Atlas that said this: when you get a belt, when you become champion, you get 30% better. Because his confidence is probably on another level right now. EK Warrior probably feels like the man right now, which he is. But he cannot underestimate the guy we all herald as the pound for pound GOAT, Fadinator. So he has to be on his P's and Q's, and he has to learn from the losses that Fadinator has took, like when he gets overzealous and Nas counter him. He has to take some attribute from everyone else who's defeated him, Baron.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any good competitor is gonna tell you that. Every match is an opportunity to learn something new, whether it be about yourself or your opponent, right? So, in a game like this, where a lot of your opponents you're rematching, especially over the course of the years that you're playing these games in this franchise and in these seasons, you're gonna start to learn things about each other. One of the things that we've noticed about a guy like Fatinator, much like his evil counterpart Nas, their fights get dirty. Nas is a little bit cleaner than, Fatinator is a little bit cleaner than Nas. He won't get pieced up too much. When he does get hit, it's usually a harder impact. It goes further. But Fad is excellent at finding himself in rough positions, but finding the escape route and then making it into an advantageous for Cyrus.
Absolutely, and I have to say, Fadinator has always been a very confidence-based fighter. There was a complete and utter switch in this guy's run from UFC 40, UFC 5. He came into his own, he found his rhythm, and his confidence has not let up ever since. He's so confident, he bet 110,000 points on himself here this evening, and he's looking to capitalize on that in the very first round with a massive stun and knockdown chain.
There's a reason he bet on himself, obviously, because and he's taunting him. But what I will say is, Warrior is still dangerous, and he still has Alice Pereira. It takes one counter.
Jesus, Fadinator, all business here this evening. Small stamina advantage, big stun and knockdown in his favor already, Baron. EK Warrior.
I see that face you're making, Jay. You don't know what the fuck happened to that knee, do you?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what happened
He
with
blocked
that knee.
it, bro. That's what it was. He blocked.
That shit fucking phased through him like Goku using instant transmission.
There's some good trades right now from Warrior. He has to be careful though. He's kind of like, once again, after he gets some success, Jay, he's taking too many pictures. He ain't moving those feet and getting out of the danger zone. Do your damage and then get on that bike. You can't stand there and allow Fadinator to return with the combinations he is so famous for.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's not like Fadinator's not getting hit. He's getting hit occasionally, but he always blocks when I lead hook. Though, like, he's blocking that specific strike. So he may get hit with a straight occasionally, but that shot that Alex needs to put him out, he's not getting hit with that, Baron.
Yeah, I mean, Fad is doing a good job at staying active and staying on the outside, which is exactly what you want to do with Adesanya. Warrior's doing a good job at trying to close and manage that distance while still landing shots. I would say maybe just a little bit more defense from Warrior, but I would also suggest maybe Fadinator dialing back a little bit, because while he was able to regain a lot of stamina here, Cyrus, he did waste a lot of stamina in that last round.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I say waste. You say waste. He landed a pretty penny on that guy's face, so I don't know if it was wasted, if the damage was no, but you're right, he's got a bit of a disadvantage. He's trying to go for big shots, and Fadinator just, He truly believes that it's still his time. You know, he doesn't believe he's lost a step, and he's trying to prove that, not only to everybody around the world right now, but to himself and the opponent standing across from him. You know, everybody when they fight Bad Name Jay, they know that he's got this aura about him, this unbeatable kind of guy, this you know, monumental task that's ahead of him. And part of that is he starts out so fast in these fights. He wants you to be on the back foot the entire time. He doesn't want to give you an opportunity to breathe. It's that whole Nick Diaz, death by 1,000 cuts. He's trying to smother you with punches out there.
Yeah, the thing is, though, Warrior just got a glimmer of success. He did cut Izzy open, and the thing is, it's Alex. It takes one from Alex. The thing is, a lot of times, Fadnader's fighting him like he has no respect for him, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I think to a degree. Oh, big shots there from Fad rocks his mans. To a degree, you can't totally blame Fad. You know, when you have a guy like that who's been on top of the world for as long as he's been relatively untouchable outside of two guys. So, I mean, it's within the realm of reasonable logic to expect that his ego is eventually going to catch up and get in the way. And why he would think highly of himself. With that said, you know, if that's the type of guy that you're going up against as Warrior, you need to have just as much confidence. You need to not let that aura have an effect on you. And you just go out there and perform it and make the best of your opportunity, Jay.
Yeah, and it looks like the aura is getting to him now. And I know Alex has the power, but please get off this cage right now because Fad is piecing him up, Cyrus.
Absolutely, he is. I was actually about to say a couple of moments ago before he got clipped again that all the champ has to do right now is make this fight competitive and allow that Alex power to, you know, translate in the later rounds. He just needs to not go face down on that canvas, but he is taking too much damage right now. Fad neither recognizes that he's got him on his back heels, he's got him in danger zone, Baron, and he's trying to capitalize on that and not allow him a moment's rest.
Yeah, and just like you had noticed earlier, Jay, now both cut. So, but big shots there from Fad. He's not only landing heavy shots, but taunting midway through his combo.
I knew it was.
Respect. This is my house.
And new Xbox champion of the world, your primetime pound for pound GOAT. Back on top, FSK Fadnader didn't miss a goddamn beat out here. J-Dime did it in style, as become, you know, expected. And that man bet 110k on himself. He just won whatever the fuck that percentage is. Yeah. I don't know, but bro.
Yeah. This is what he did, though. I'm gonna tell you what he did. He went to his house. He kicked his door down and stole that belt. The problem is there's no fence up. There's no defense. He just walked right in there, Baron.
Yeah, there wasn't even a guard dog. There wasn't even a beware of dog sign. There wasn't not even a no guns permitted sign. It was literally Fadnader just performing arm robbery.
You're not wrong. He walked in there, went straight to the fridge. That guy's got no food left in his house. That is crazy, bro. That is crazy. Fadnader, good to have this man back. Absolutely sensational performance. Commiserations to EK Warrior. I'm sure we will see him bounce back better than that. But of course, the story of this evening is all about FSK Naz. He wanted to right some wrongs. He wanted to get back on top here this evening, and he did so. And he has left absolutely no questions in anybody's mind at who deserves to be at the top of that division. And jeez, man, that was a fun fight. That was our co-main event here this evening. And you know what time that means it is out here, Baron. You know what time that is, J-Time? That is the main event of Primetime 142. It is going to be between the one and only K1 MuayThaiJesus and what remains of Buck Gaming, riding an all-time high in confidence, coming off that massive win over Naz last time out. I expect this to be an incredibly tough fought bout between two well-rounded guys. MuayThaiJesus showed that he is a submission threat in his last time out, but of course, can he maybe even counter do that? Because he's going up against what remains of Buck, and Buck traditionally grapple, strike, grapple fucks you, and does that whole kind of mixing it all together so goddamn well. I can't wait to see it. And the good news is, Jay, the good news is, bro, we don't have to wait to see it because it is right now, as you can see right there, a monument. Oh, that's the wrong one. Why is that? That's the one. That's the one.
There we
Ignore
go.
it.
There we go.
You can see how long ago it was since I did it. But MuayThaiJesus up against what remains of Vuck. 9-4 on the side of Muay Thai and 7-3. Both guys on a +3 win streak. Both guys have a just about 70% win rate. This is what the great names are made of here in Primetime MMA. High finish rates, high win rates, and of course, many titles to their name. This is an opportunity for what remains of Vuck Gaming to put his name etched in the history books if he can get a hold of the Primetime Gold here this evening. But I know one man out here, Baron, who's going to have a lot to say about that, who's not going quietly into the night, and that is MuayThaiJesus standing across from him, going with a grapple-heavy pick that can do it a little bit all. I expect, honestly, I actually don't know what to expect in this fight. I don't know what to expect here, bro. I just expect beautiful destruction to play out in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, artistic violence is what we're here for, and you know, especially with a guy like Vuck, that's what you're often going to get. Is artistic, beautiful, bloody violence. You know, here's the thing: is you've got a guy like MuayThaiJesus who, much like you said, you know, excellent grappler, dangerous with the submissions. Here's what I fear, and what you typically see when a guy picks a wrestler is that they don't go for the wrestling. They pick the wrestler as like a backup. So it was nice to see MuayThaiJesus there go for the takedown, albeit denied there by Vuck. But still, you know, to see the guy with the wrestler go for the wrestling, it's refreshing, Jay. You know, again, like I said, you don't like to see guys rob themselves of their tools.
Yeah, and I'm really interested what Vuck do it. Jan, is he going? Because Vuck is used to go pressure, but it's tough against someone like MuayThaiJesus who has good distance and has clean striking. Vuck has to interrupt his rhythm, make it a fight, Cyrus.
Absolutely, he does. Yeah, I mean, do what he does it best. Vuck is like, he's one of the more gritty fighters that you will see stand in this cage, and he does that, or he becomes that, by mixing that full array of mixed martial arts together. Now, I have to say, Muay Thai's done a good job of doing that himself right now. He's trying to take the lead in that fight. I think he knows what to expect here this evening. But as these guys approach the 2-minute mark of round number 1 in what has been an entertaining, tentative start to this World Championship PlayStation bout, going to take a quick moment to shout out King Jon Snow, 90 motherfucking 9, coming through with those 200 biddies. We appreciate you, my man. Long-time supporter, absolute OG of the community. Now, Baron, back to the fight for the moment. You can see that these guys are testing each other. Feint lead kick into the switch for Vuck Gaming. A couple of body attacks from Muay Thai, mixed in with a couple of hip tosses from the clinch. These guys trying to make this dirty out here, and I think that is exactly what the doctor ordered in this main event.
Absolutely. You know, the thing about what makes a good fighter excellent is the ability to mix up and the confidence to be able to go anywhere in the fight, whether that's top, bottom, on the ground, in the clinch, against the cage, on the feet, whatever it takes to get that win. Vuck is excellent no matter where he goes. And surprising, like I'm personally surprised that K1 Jesus is electing to go to the ground, Jay. You would think that a guy of Vuck's caliber and Vuck's reputation on the ground, that would be relatively the last place that you would want to go.
Okay, that's a good round right there. I want to see through these next 2 rounds, if it lasts that long, I want to see what happens with the stamina, because MuayThaiJesus has used a lot of his stamina. So has Vuck, but I want to see what the stamina going to look like going into next round, Cyrus.
Absolutely. Look, for me, the one thing I will say is that Vuck has always been a dangerous threat to anybody he steps in there with, but I kind of feel like he fucks himself in he's kind of like the mix-ups of the PlayStation division. Like, he beats so many good people when it's not for a belt, and then he gets to a belt, And he's just like, he throws all of that hard work away just by kind of letting the moment get to him. Now, I don't think I'm seeing that so far this evening. I feel like this is maybe a new and focused Vuk Gaming, but I don't want to jinx the man. I'm just hoping that that doesn't become a storyline for this guy right here, because he has a clear opportunity. He had a great start to round one in a close fight, close round one, but he probably has the edge for my money, to be quite honest with you. He probably has the slight edge in it, so... Never mind!
But now he gets stunned. He got stunned. You may have jinxed him, Cyrus.
I jinxed shit, bro. He needs to compose himself. That's what he needs to do. This is where it's about not selling, Baron. Now he needs to compose himself and get back to what got him to the dance.
And you know what? He's staying perfectly composed. I mean, look at his defense between the head movement, the footwork. He got out of dodge immediately. That was excellent work there from Vuk. In a bad position, but he gets to safety. This is kind of WR's MO. They have dirty fights. They have rough fights, but it while it's a struggle for both fighters, it turns out that it works for them. And listen, while Vuk may be our Dustin Poirier, and never really being able to get the title, he's a title holder in other promotions, and he's constantly beating former title holders and former title champions, you know what I mean, like former title contenders. So he's just because he's never actually held the title doesn't take any credit away from him. Vuk is very good. He's got, like you said, another opportunity here tonight. And while he's made a couple mistakes and he's bit a bullet for it here and there, he's still in it here tonight, Jay.
Yeah, and on UFC 5, he's probably Dustin. On 4, he had the belt at one point, but I think he's more likable than Dustin because I don't like Dustin. So I like Vuk though.
Hey Alex, don't blaspheme in the chat. Jesus is never sneaky, my man. Jesus is the truth. In all seriousness, Muay Thai is a sneaky fighter. He is out here being very, very kind of concealed in the way that he goes about his game, mixes it up with some nice feints. He is doing, the right thing to try and kind of really put the pressure on Vuk and make him work. But nice. Another big stun. I was going to say he has a stamina advantage, but that stamina advantage doesn't matter for shit if you ain't got head health, and that is what Vuk is trying to turn this one into.
That was a huge counter there, Cyrus. And that's kind of the thing with Vuk. And again, let me reiterate, this is kind of a theme within WR, because you see it with guys like Vuk, you see it with guys like Demo. You even see it sometimes with John Africa, although we didn't tonight. But these guys, they find themselves in the fire. And in that very last moment, when you think the fight is being snatched away from them, they find a way to not only just take it back, but I mean just take the whole thing. I've seen Demo do it. I've seen Vuk do it as of last week against Nas. So it's dangerous going against somebody that's capable of doing something like that, Jay.
Yeah, and the thing is, Vuk has seen a lot of styles. Vuk's been here for a while, and he has a lot of teammates that are really good. Like, we just watched his teammate Oranges put on a master class too. Like, he's sparring with people like that, Baron.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not only is he sparring with extremely talented people, but he's also got an extremely talented wealth of knowledge in his camp, in guys like Demo and guys like John Africa, who he not only is coached by, but he works together with. So Vuk is just as much of a coach in that team as John Africa is. So if that gives you any indication, if anybody has the type of respect for John Africa and his intelligence when it comes to the game, they should do the same thing for Vuk, Cyrus.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Vuk is, like you say, one of the, I believe, founding members of What Remains as well.
Yes.
And the thing I'll say about Vuk and the rest of the WR guys that I will say I've noticed tonight especially is that they've been working on their lateral movement. Now, Vuk has actually struggled with it a little bit in the striking department in the past, but he's done a lot better here this evening with it. He has to be careful not to fall into old patterns as the mental fatigue of concentrating so hard for the last 2 or 3 rounds eventually starts to set in. This guy has done many great things around the community, but when the bright lights of primetime MMA are on you, sometimes they can make you falter, and it's all about whether or not he can rise to that occasion here this evening. Muay Thai is at the top of that mountain right now. As Jay said earlier, when you're champion, it makes you that 30% better at a minimum. And I just don't see Muay Thai really getting flustered out there. He's getting caught, he's getting clipped, but he's always composed. And Vuk is almost doing the same. He's bounced back from a little bit of adversity. He's doing a great job of landing his own damage. And honestly, he has fucking annihilated the block of Muay Thai. So he's in with a really good chance if he continues like that. But there's stuff like that, Jay. There's stuff like that gives me a heart attack. Yeah. And it's like, why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah, he got overzealous. And if you're a Muay Thai, yeah, thank you. You got to use teeps. You got to use your feet as defense too, because your block is getting toasted, Baron.
Yeah, and you know what? Listen, I am a believer of there are typically factors that people don't take into consideration that will play a contributing factor to somebody's performance. For example, Vuk.
Oh, there it is.
Nice.
I'm noticing that Vuk has really taken the foot off the gas in terms of how he's fighting here tonight, and not just in comparison to round 1, but more in comparison to his career. Vuk is typically he sets the pace quickly, and he usually keeps that pace, but he is keeping more of a dialed pace here tonight, and I'm afraid of what's happening here is that I know personally from talking with Vuk and from my experiences with Vuk in the past, is that he is how should I put this? He's influenced by what other people say about him. So I know that Roger and John Africa kind of were talking a little bit about his last performance, and how Roger is convinced that Vuk is kind of a one-gear, one-trick pony. And we all know that that's not the case, but I think what's happening here is that Vuk has taken that criticism, and for better or for worse, is maybe changing his style a little bit here tonight.
Look, I'm going to jump in right now, Jay. I'm going to jump in. I'm just going to say, and I love Roger. Roger is the fucking man. But if you're fighting in this cage and he is talking some shit on you, you need to ignore that. Roger likes to play devil's advocate. He likes to have some hot takes out there. And Vuk Gaming needs to listen to his cornermen and his cornermen only. If you're listening to people calling your fights or people in the Twitch chat, you are making mistakes. And that's just the bottom line. For my money, Vuk has fought an incredible fight so far. The only thing I would say, Jay, is when he got that takedown, I thought he was going to slow down a little bit and try to minute win because he's behind on the stamina. But I don't think that's in Vuk. I think Vuk is an action fighter. I think he's always trying to push the pace, and it ultimately led to him sacrificing position and now having to work even harder to get back to his feet.
Oh. And this is the thing. Now, this is bad for him, because now Muay Thai is dictating the grappling now. Because Vuk is a great grappler, but now Vuk has less stamina, and he's the one on the bottom. Now he has to work harder than he does, Cyrus.
No, exactly right. And this is the thing now. Muay Thai has got 1:20 to work. It may not seem like a long time, but it is when you're being grappled. Oh, he didn't get the how.
Wow.
How did he not? That's so easy to counter, bro.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Did anybody catch what the grapple meter was?
It doesn't
was
matter.
that?
Even with full GA, all you have to do is flick left, and it probes him into side control, bro.
But sometimes, I mean, if that grapple advantage meter is like all the way,
it wasn't that high. It wasn't that high on that one.
If it is, it gets quick, so it's understandable why it can be missed. Yes,
And that's
you're
Sam,
absolutely
too.
right, Cyrus. Like it is literally just a very quick flick, and you can get through that whole thing. But
Yeah, I was going to say that it takes less than a fraction of a second to deny
Yeah.
that, and that is the slowest transition that is possible on the ground. Period. So,
But that Sam could have had something to
He
do with
could've,
that.
bro.
Too.
yeah,
could've,
it
like-
could have. Between the stamina and,
Whoa.
and then the
Okay.
grapple advantage, I was like, oh, maybe that's what caused it.
see,
They
Matrix
just
says
made history that round.
Matrix says he had no stamina, and that's why it's quick. I mean, I still didn't think it was quick, if I'm being real with you. But look, ultimately, when you're in the heat of battle, things fly. You know,
Yeah.
all things sort of fly, and there are mistakes to be made. So look, he's the champion. He beat my ass in a fucking fight in UFC 5. I can tell you that. So I ain't criticizing the man. I'm just calling the fights as I'm here to do. You know?
Yeah, I don't think I don't think you just seen what they did last round. Guess how many significant strikes was landed between those two last round?
Oh wow, I don't know, bro.
It was 0. There was none landed. If you see that,
Yo,
that was 0 in that round.
whoa.
Well, I tell you what, there was a massively significant strike landed at the beginning of this round, Baron, as he gets a rock and then a single leg high crotch takedown, picks him up, powers him, and dumps him on his head straight into top mount. And this may be the beginning of the
He
end.
fucked himself. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah.
He fucked himself with that stam. We're in round 5
Yep.
now.
Yep.
This is tough here, Baron.
Yeah. This is this is exactly what Jesus was looking for. He wanted that slow burn for that very moment right there.
Woo! Well, you know what it is. And still, your PlayStation champion of the world, PrimeTime savant, an all-round danger in this mixed martial arts game, a man that can truly do it anywhere at all. Your PlayStation champion for another week, K1, MuayThaiJesus. That was a really fun fight. I'll be honest with you. All of these fights, maybe bar one, all of these fights were incredible here this evening. Non-stop action, and we didn't. Did we have it? We had one decision. Even that fight was very, very fun, though. I'm
We had
very,
a double
very
knockdown.
Yeah, we had a double knockdown. You're right, Baron. We had a double knockdown.
That's
a
fucking
great
crazy.
fight. Yeah.
One champion changed hands, or one belt changed hands. One belt remained. Muay Thai is going to be very, very much, riding high from confidence now. Not only did he just manage to push back Vuck Gaming, who was running hot, he was able to get the belt from Driz, which is one hell of a feat. Let's be real. Driz has been the boogeyman of both the Xbox and the PlayStation division. Oh wow, he was actually 39-37 as well. Wow. Okay. Muay Thai was winning that fight a lot more convincingly than I thought. That's why I call fights, and I'm not a judge, I suppose, right? I suppose. But with that all being said, lads, this has been PrimeTime 142. Another incredible bout, another incredible night of fights, and we expect that to continue every single week. The PrimeTime guarantee has never failed to deliver over the last 3 or 4 years, and we don't expect it to start anytime goddamn soon. Tune in next Saturday, 8:30 GMT, 3:30 Eastern, I believe.
Yes, 3:30 Eastern.
Yes, sir. There you go. My memory does not deceive me. I have been Cyrus Looney, your host for this evening. Of course, make sure if you don't already, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, go and check JDime TV on Twitch. This man's live Monday to Friday, more often than not. Yes, sir. Most entertaining streamer that you will see, period. It has been a pleasure calling these fights with you once again, J-Dime. And Baron, my man, great to have you back in the booth, brother. Couldn't have been a more fun card to have you back with us, especially for my return.
I appreciate being back, Cyrus. Thank you.
Until the next one, we love y'all. Stay safe. Enjoy the fights later on this evening. And we'll catch you next Saturday.